Welcome back to the shop. I'm Jeff from Today's Craftsman. You may recognize this machine. We're standing next to the Striebig. This is a Striebig 5x10 compact. It's a vertical panel saw, and we've mentioned it before. We were lucky enough to win this saw from Colonial Saw up in Massachusetts. And our buddy Eric from Colonial was here last week showing a new salesman around, and we got to talking about the Striebig. And I mentioned to him that I had basically given an hour's worth of training on the saw to Walter and just let him loose. And he was able to perform and cut everything accurately with just an hour of training. So we thought it would be a good little video and a good experiment to introduce you to my apprentice Cameron. And I gave him a little bit of training on this, and we'll see how he can cut on this after just, say, 45 minutes or an hour's worth of training. So I can introduce everyone to Cameron.
How's it going, guys?
This is my new apprentice, so Cameron's been with me now for
close to 2 months now.
Yeah, going on 2 months, and he's doing a great job. Cameron came on with zero experience, which is what I was looking for, someone who I could teach to do things the way that I like to do things. So Cameron's never worked on the Striebig before. And before John got here, we did a little bit of training, nothing super crazy, just going over the basics. We talked about the safety of the saw, how everything is contained within the saw head, that you would really have to stick your hand back here behind the shroud to get cut. But we went over the basics of cutting both vertically and horizontally. And what we have here is a cut list. So we're actually going to be building a cabinet for John's art studio. I threw them into the optimizer. So with a panel saw, it's really nice, or even a table saw, to optimize your parts. There's some online optimizers. We're using the native optimizer in Mosaic. So we have our parts list. We have our material over here, making it out of some dunnage that we got. It's a nice piece of cherry melamine, which actually doesn't look half bad. But we'll get this up on the saw, and we'll see, if Cameron can cut these parts.
So first I'm going to start off by squaring off the edge. Next, I'm going to cut my first set of pieces at 38 inches. One more at 38. I'm going to use the mid fence for this one to make my cross cuts. All right, so I cut the top and bottom. Now I'm gonna do the sides. Just like all the cuts, I'm gonna square up the edge first.
Just make sure you're not taking too much off, because look on the cut sheet, there's not a lot of leftover. Just something to think about. all the parts are cut on this cart. So first time Cameron's ever used A, the Striebig, or B, any cutting tool like this in the shop. He's never even used a traditional cabinet saw or table saw, really only the miter saw we've broken them into. I think this really demonstrates the value of a machine like this to a business owner. I have the confidence that I can leave someone with minimal experience a cut list and that they'll be able to work A, safely, and B, with repeatability and accuracy. So all of these parts are square and to dimension. Really the only room for error is with the user. So as long as you're following this cut list and making sure that you're setting your stops to the correct dimensions that are listed, there's really no way to mess this up. So if you want to continue to see this build, I think we're gonna build it, not next week, but in the coming weeks. And we're gonna install some drawer slides. So we'll show you installing drawer slides. But yeah, as always, if you have any questions, be sure to leave them down below and we'll see you next week.
How'd you like using that machine, Cameron?
It was really fun. Really fun. First time cutting any sheets of wood. Amazing. I want to do it again.